Hello everybody out there on YouTube. This is Chip Corner Notch, and this is my first video, and it is in response to Indian Trace's top 12 invite. Like to give a shout out to Indian Trace and Flint Spall, Commissioner Tom Brooksy, Richard, Great Basin Man, Alabama Headhunter, all you guys. You guys are very inspirational to keep motivating me and hopefully other people to get out and work this wonderful hobby. So let's get started here on what I consider to be my top 12 here. First piece here is a trigger bone awl. You can see it's worked down to a, sharpened down to a nice point. It's nice and smooth, ground real shiny. That's pretty cool. I got a couple of these in my collection. These are really neat. This big knife blade here, it's like a big Hopewell point knife blade. I found that earlier this year, and I like it because it's got a hole in the base there. This came from my waterside site where I hunt, and I think that was just a fossil that probably washed out of this point here. But it's about 3.5, 4 inches long, and I think it's really kind of nice. This point here, love the color on it, love the long ears. I've got a couple of these. The bases are snapped off exactly the same. Now, I don't know if that was just a common fracture with this style of point, addle dart, knife blade, whatever these were, or not. I don't know if that was a common fracture, if they were made intentionally that way. But yeah, love the color on that. Love the work. Pretty thin. Love how long them ears are too, boy. Very nice. This little guy here, Thebes Point. Small, but nice. Definitely like the flaking on this. Well worked, thin. Just a touch of grinding on the base there. Just a nice piece. I found that a couple years ago. This one I found several years back, maybe even probably the better part of 2 decades ago. I found this pine tree. Now I don't know, maybe it was sharpened down to look that way, or if it was made that way. Base is ground. Love the notches and I love the serrations on it. Just a really cool piece. This Adena point's made out of some local chert. It's just super well made. I found this one when I was a kid. And it's just super well made. Got some really nice flaking. The tip on it's just, it's just wonderful piece, and survived this long in this condition. Found this many years ago. One of my all-time personal favorites. And I guess that's what the top 12 is all about, is personal favorites. Maybe not the best worked or the biggest or whatever, but what you feel is the best. Now, this wouldn't be complete without my little Clovis point here. Probably 2 inches long or so. A little bit less. 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. It's just got one little nick out of it right there. It's the only whole one I got for the most part. I know it's fresh because the patina's not the same. It's got a nice flute channel on it. Just a really nice point. I'm shooting this outside today because I wanted to get the natural light on these. It just seems to be a lot better. This one I found earlier this year. This little dovetail. I actually walked past it the first time. Didn't even see it. Walked within 3 foot of it, laying right out in the open in front of God and everybody. I went back through collecting up rocks for a rock garden I'm making for my wife, and I realized that I had walked past it, and I just couldn't believe it. Stellar little piece just poking right up. Boy, I got a tip on that. It's got some nice work to it. This is local chert too. This little guy, love him. Love the flake work, love the color on him. Just a great piece. One little tiny nick. That's it. Look at the tip on that though. Oh, nice little side notch. Came from my waterside site as well. I think that's just a really cool little piece. Look how thin that is. It's so thin. Something like this, you know, you're surprised how resilient yet how fragile they are. There's another style of bone awl I got. This came from my waterside site. That's why the point's rounded off from being in the water. But really well polished. Probably seen a lot of use. See if I can get a good shot of all of it there. Yeah. I showed it to a couple of fellow collectors here in my area, and they both agree that it's not broken. It was made this way. I thought maybe there should have been more bone on here, but no, it looks like they started polishing back here, grinding right down to a tip. I think that's an absolute stellar piece. You know, I've got a few bone pieces, not very many. This here, I love this piece, one of my favorites, period. This is a bar amulet. It's an atlatl weight. I found this last year, a year ago this month actually. Made out of banded slate. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'll try to roll it real slow so you can check out the banding. But as you can see, it was broken and salvaged. And, you know, the guy, the Native American man, picked it up and said, I could reuse that. And he re-drilled it so he could attach it to the atlatl. Just a stellar piece. One of my absolute favorites. This one here I found many years ago, another childhood find. Just love the flaking on this big knife blade. It only fits in your hand one way. You know, it's got a relief right here almost. It's like a huge flake taken out just for your fingers to fit in, just so. I've tried putting it in my hand a few different ways, but it really only fits that way. It's made out of a local chert. I love it. And then this knife up here. I guess I'm going to do a baker's dozen. It's kind of really a heartbreaker, just missing the tip, but man, such a cool piece. Love it. Love the way it's worked. I think it's absolutely great. So I found that in Ohio. I live pretty close to the Ohio border, so I hunt in both states. I got a hunting partner who lives in Ohio. So we'll do a kind of a flyby real quick. This is what I consider to be my top 12. So thank you for tuning in. Please leave any comments, and hopefully this fall I'll be shooting some videos as I go out and pound some dirt in some fields. So I look forward to all your guys' future videos, and you know, if I've made any errors, please feel free to send me your thoughts, because this is a learning process. Getting it right is important. So, alright guys, gals, we'll see you later.